Live from Studio B, welcome to Rotor Talk Live, your weekly home for the latest consumer drone news, rumors, reviews, and tips. Since 2017, we've helped drone fans stay on top of what's rumored, what's flying, new specs, features, updates, and expert analysis. Hosted by Bill the Drone Reviewer and co-hosted by Ron Brown from Drone Nation, we keep you up to date on everything in the consumer drone space.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 9, Episode 27, DJI Air 4 coming soon in China. Hope everyone is doing well. Got a full house tonight here. Gator Drone is here. Droney Oki is here. Who else we got? Art is here. Let's see who else. USA Drone Flyer. Joe is here. Sergeant Redding, welcome. RJ Redding, welcome. Let's see who else we got. Going through the list here. Got a house full already. That's awesome. Sergeant Rock, welcome. Good to see you. Michael Wright, welcome. Good to see you as well. All right. Got a full house tonight. Before we get started tonight, okay, if you are a friend of mine on Facebook, all right, do me a huge favor tomorrow, okay? There's a young lady who I just happen to be married to is having a birthday tomorrow, okay? And I won't tell you that she's turning, let's see here, okay? How many fingers I have up? That, and then that, okay? I won't tell you her age, but if you can decipher it from this right here, okay? And then that, you got it right, okay? But anyway, tomorrow is my wife's birthday, and please, if you have a chance, either on Bill Drone Reviewer Facebook group if you're not friends with me, or if you are friends with me on Facebook, wish my wife Valerie a very happy birthday. I would really appreciate that, and I know she would as well too. She's going to be treated like a queen tomorrow. Of course, she's treated like a queen every day, okay? Me? I maybe get one day a year. Maybe, if I'm lucky, okay? And then what's really cool is on Wednesday, it's our first granddaughter's birthday, Ellie, on the 9th. So Ellie was almost born on Valerie's birthday, so that was pretty close. Thank you. Thank you, RJ. Appreciate that. Yeah. Lauren, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Don Simpson, welcome. Yeah, so go out and do that. That would help make my day. I would really appreciate that. I've been cranking out some videos. Got some more coming out this week. Got an Avata 360 video coming out. In fact, I got 2 of them coming out. One's coming out tomorrow, and I think the other one's going to be coming out this weekend. So stay tuned for those. The one that's coming out this weekend is just the pure 360. There's no narration. I'll just have some music, obviously. That's all I can do with it. But it's going to be where you can choose your direction kind of a thing. So, all right. Got all that buttoned up. And actually, there is quite a bit to discuss tonight. And I kind of had to put, just to kind of give you guys a little background here on what I do to get ready for the show, all right? I go out to all my sources. Now, one of the things that I do is I do Google keywords. And I get an email anytime these keywords pop up, okay? For example, DJI, and a lot of times I'll get Dow Jones Industries, go figure. But I'll get news and information regarding that. I'll put in some of the hot topics like a Pocket 4 or a Mavic 4 Pro or DJI Lito, and anytime there's a newsworthy article that comes up, and that's part of what goes into the news cycle here. A couple of the main sources that I use are Drone DJ and also Drone XL, and they usually do a really good job, but kind of slim pickings on both of them the past couple of days. And one of the things they really seem to kind of focus on is a lot with these drones that have been confiscated at the World Cup. And I'm like, okay, they're confiscated. Move on here, all right? What's the story? I'm not catching the story here, folks. So let's just kind of move on as far as that's concerned. So I don't know. That's just me. That's just who I am. So, but anyway, and then what I also do is I go out to X or Twitter, and I look at Ed Igor, I look at Jasper Ellens, and I also go, there's a DJI rumors, okay, and They do a real good job. And in fact, there's some things that I have from them. And then the last thing that I've been using recently is I've been incorporating ChatGPT. And when there isn't information, but I know there's something out there, I'll have a I'll drop a nice thing, and that's what I did tonight on a couple of them, and I had that post to my timeline as well too. So just to kind of give you a background and let you know, this doesn't come together in 5 minutes. It usually takes me about half a day to get a show ready for tonight. So just to let you guys know. So Ron's going to be joining me here in a little bit. So all right. With all that being said, let's go ahead and we're going to get the first article up here. All right. No, we're not going to do that one. I think we'll do that one here. I hate that when that happens. Whenever you bring a YouTube video up and it goes right into an ad. Yeah. All right. One of the things, and I know a lot of people have talked about it, is that it's kind of stalled some people from getting an Avata 360 or the 360 camera, the Osmo 360, is processing the footage. And I can tell you this, it is just as easy as when you do your normal video processing in Resolve. And just remember a few simple things. Well, I want to hone in on it, and I can't show the video, but I can show you a screenshot from it. And I've seen a lot of them out there. Now, DJI has a pretty good tutorial on it, all right? But the one that I would really recommend above all others is the one from Sean from Air Photography. He did and he uses his iPad, but the commands are basically exactly the same. You just have to translate it to your desktop. And he's very straightforward. You know, Sean, he presents everything as a matter of fact, directly to you, no fluff. It's all there. And he does a great job. And he doesn't take up a whole lot of your time, but he gives you a lot of meaningful information to use. And in fact, I used this the first couple of times when I was processing footage from the Avata 360, and it made it so much easier for me. It really did. Oh, thank you, NHLLL Productions. I appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you for N-Hill. I'm sorry. N-Hill. Okay. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Hey, Brad. Good to see you. Okay. So that's one of the things that, as far as this is concerned, don't let that waylay you here. Here's Mr. Ron Brown. How are you, sir?
Hello, Bill. How are you today?
Doing well.
How was your 4th of July holiday?
Actually, it was quite nice. We had they had like up at our on-site restaurant. We went up there and had beef brisket, hot dogs, and hamburgers. It was wonderful. Didn't have to cook. Didn't have to worry about cleaning up. Temperature was great. We were able to sit outside and enjoy, a nice breeze out there, and it was very relaxing. How about you guys?
We were in that East Coast heat wave, so Friday and Saturday you want to go outside. We had your weather for a couple of days.
Oh my gosh!
But I did go out right at 9 o'clock and put the drone up because the fireworks were just down at the beach. So when I said I put the drone straight up, I didn't fly anywhere. It just went straight up, got fireworks, came straight down. But then afterwards, we had a big storm come through, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts at some point, and that blew the heat wave right out of here.
Wow. It hasn't gone. In fact, today we had a very rare occurrence for us. We had rain for over an hour today, which was quite a bit for us right now because things are really dry and really just not very good as far as that's concerned. I was just going over because it's really stuck out to me, and I wanted to mention it because I know a lot of people are talking about the Avata 360 is Sean's tutorial, if you want to, for lack of a better term, on editing the footage from the 360. He uses an iPad, but it's very similar to exactly what you do in studio on your desktop. And Sean, he's just very direct, very succinct, very to the point, and he makes it very easy. And I've used it. I used it my first couple of times, and I'll refer back to it if I have any questions. It works really well. I highly recommend that if you guys are looking for something to watch.
But I've never, even though I have an iPad, I've never tried using the iPad version of Studio App yet. I've only used the desktop. The desktop did get an update about a week ago.
Yeah, I did. I did see that. I did see that when I opened it up. Well, I have a 360 video coming out tomorrow, an Avata 360 video, and then I got one coming out probably Saturday as well too. I did a couple things different, and I hope people like it. It was what really kind of foiled me, and this was really funny. I record when I'm going out there and I'm flying. I have my DJI mic up here, and I'm recording everything, or DJI mic too, and I'm recording everything. But I couldn't figure out for the life of me, plus my B-roll camera is on and it records audio too, and I look for that same point where I'm saying, okay, today we're going to take up the Avata 360, all right? So I know I say the same phrase all the time, so I know where to find it, okay? So I know where to match up, from the DJI Mic 2 recording, and I can match it up. So I match it up, and then right after I say that, the DJI Mic 2 recording differed from the recording from the B-roll camera on the audio. And I'm like, how in the world did that happen?
Yeah, I mean that's
you know what?
Some people, when they do they do the screen recordings, and that audio doesn't match up to the audio they recorded from another source too. Like it's too fast or too slow or something. I have no explanation.
I ended up figuring it out. It was from when I flew the Avata 360 before. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because I looked on the date on the footage or on the audio from the mic, and it was from 2 weeks before. So I was like, yeah, there's my answer. I'm like, yeah, did I record? And you know what I do? I'll rotate between my two mics that I use when I go and I fly. And what I did was, when I was downloading the footage, I picked up the wrong mic to download the footage from. I just saw it was out there. Okay, download it, fine, and go. So yeah, it cost me about an hour because it was driving me crazy and pulling out what little hair I have left. I mean, it was.
You had to pull your detective cap out for about an hour, huh?
Yeah, that was just. I was kind of beside myself. Well, this whole sale business is kind of continuing here. There was an article out on Drone XL today, and I wanted to go ahead and go over that because it was really interesting what this offers. Now, it's just not the standard Mini 4K, all right? DJI Mini 4K protection bundle falls to $251.99 for July 4th weekend. The beginner kit with crash protection built in, all right? It dropped to $251.99 on Amazon, and it was in stock when he pulled it up. The bundle matters more than the discount here. The configuration packs the controller, RC and N1C per DJI spec sheet, one battery, propeller guards, dedicated landing gear, and a spare set of props. The deal covers the bundle built for first crashes. This deal applies to protection bundles listing specifically $251.99 against a $341.99 list, a $90 savings. The listing shows 50 plus bought the last month, and Amazon delivered a 63 by 4 installment plan for buyers who want to spread it out. All right. Drone XL has tracked the drone's pricing all year long, and the standard version hit, and the Fly More dropped to that price right there, the $251.99. The protection bundle sits right in the established deal range when adding the crash protection hardware. The other configurations skip. Okay. So that's a pretty good deal for that drone, Ron. It really is.
Yeah, the deals keep rolling in. We've seen the Mini 4K a little bit less, but of course that's the standard bundle.
Right. So
I noticed that sled there. I mean, DJI does make their own propeller guards. I don't know if this kit includes DJI's own brand name, but to my knowledge, DJI doesn't make a skid guard, so that's a third-party skid plate there.
Yeah, I think you're right as far as that's concerned. I don't think they do make that. So. But I found that real interesting that they came up with this package and put it together at that kind of a price, and I think it's a good.
Who's the seller in that? Who's the seller in that, Bill? Can you make it out?
DJI Store.
Okay. Wow.
DJI Store. Mm-hmm. It was very interesting. I was really kind kind of intrigued by that.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
if people are looking for a budget drone, I mean, there's plenty of good options around, Bill.
yeah, there is. Uh, One of the other things that came out, and this was on Drone DJ, and I wanted to go over this. I know it's not applicable to us here in the U.S., but I still wanted to cover it. Is the Pocket 4 Pro and where it's available right now? And this was on Drone DJ, and it is now available in Japan, Indonesia, and Vietnam. The U.S., however, is still nowhere to be found on the launch map. All right, and it talks about it and it gives a good discussion on it. But one thing that's really curious, Ron, and I know you've noticed it, and I think I've noticed it too, is availability to be purchased by U.S. customers out there. Evelyn has it available. They're available all over the place from our friends in South Korea and Japan. No tariffs, kind of a deal on it too. So you know, I'm going to say this, okay, for me, all right? If there's no FCC approval on it, you can't use it. I don't care what everybody says. Oh, you're not using it for commercial purposes. It's fine. Da, da, da. No, no, no. It's just you can't. There's no FCC approval. You can't use it. That's my bottom line, Ron.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, I mean, we talked about this many times. I mean, when people are checking for drones, I mean, if you flew a non-FCC approved drone, if you were, I don't know, caught doing anything wrong, you have a slim chance of getting caught. Nobody out there is looking for pocket cameras. Not one agency's running around looking for anybody with a pocket camera. So unless you use the pocket camera in a crime or something like that, you're probably never ever going to get caught. But it's up to you. But here's the thing, Bill. You'll probably never see the DJI cameras being sold in the U.S. at least by respectable sellers because Extreme Use. I think they've ceded the U.S. market to Extreme Use products.
Yeah, you're right.
The extra products are somehow, Bill. I can't explain, but somehow, even though these extra products, and those will be the Muse 2 will be I guess the Pro version, Muse 2 Pro. I don't know how they get FCC products. I'm going to ask you, Bill. People at the FCC, Brendan Carlin, are they so clueless that they don't know that there's a brand called Extra selling cameras all over Amazon that are basically closed to DJI, or they choose not to pay attention to it? You have any guess what's going on there?
I don't know, Ron. I don't know. I wish I had some answers for that. Wanted to answer N Hill Productions. Okay, what's your take on Master Airscrew props, Mini 5 Pro? I'm all about OEM props for all the drones. I know Master Screws made a reputation on making quiet props, and I know early on when the original Mavic Air came out that a lot of people got the Master Screw props, and it really kind of messed with the RPMs on them, and that's why I really haven't touched them, and I really am a stickler about using OEM props just to kind of answer your question right there. Now,
yeah, I haven't used Master Head Screws in over 5 years, and I mean the ones I have work fine, but I'm not looking for any more level of performance or whatever. I've never, Bill, I haven't seen anybody review the Master Head Screw products for the Mini 5 Pro. Have you?
no, I have not. I have not.
Used to see the props out to a lot of the big influencer channels, but I don't think they do anymore because I haven't seen a big channel review Master Head props in over 5 years, Bill.
Yeah, people really haven't. It's really kind of died down the talk and everything, and even reviews.
I'll tell you, here's what it was. Remember when the original DJI Air came out, the first air drone? Remember, It was the noisiest little drone ever.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Master Air Screws, that's how they made their name, at least with DJI. They did quiet that drone down.
Yep, they did. I mean, it did work. But I do remember there was something about it really kind of messed with the RPMs, and people noticed that there were some problems, and I think there were a few crashes, and people kind of held back after that on the Master Air Screws, and that's kind kind of what I remember from all that.
Bill, are they used a lot in the FPV market? Do a lot of FPV drones fly the master air props?
I really couldn't answer that question, Ron. I really don't know. Their popularity has gone down over the past several years.
At least with camera drone people, I don't know about FPV pilots.
Right. I don't know either about FPV drone people. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight, and I have a couple of pictures down here. What I did was, and this is on the DJI Mic Mini 2S that's coming out right now. Okay. And the big difference between this and the Mic 2 Mini, all right, you can record on each individual mic now, where you couldn't on the Mic Mini 2. On the Mic Mini 2S, it does have, I think it's like 4 GB or something like that. I think I read something about that. And what was the other one? Oh yeah, you can use up to 4 transmitters on for with one
Receiver,
and
yeah.
one receiver.
32-bit float on this.
32-bit float on these as well too. And I wanted to ask you.
And you mentioned the biggie is the internal recording.
Right, the internal recording is huge on this.
And no, I think they missed. Well, if the Air 2S is the official name, I mean, this should have been called the Mini 3. It has all the features basically of the DJI Mic Mini 3.
Yeah,
and a small. So it should be the Mini 3 and not the 2S with all these features.
I agree. I agree. And the one thing that I wanted to tell that kind of stood out for me is this was I was going exactly where you were going, or why did they even come out with the Mic Mini 2 in the first place and not have those features on it? Because that's a hallmark to me. The whole DJI mic system is having that internal recording on that, because for me it's gold. It's literally gold, because there are things that can happen with that Bluetooth connection between that and the device that you're using, your camera, and it get messed up. But you would always have that recording on the transmit on the receiver itself. But here, on the Mic Mini 2, you didn't have that. All right, it was just literally connecting to your device.
And Bill, to explain to the people too. Why this to us drone guys, how this to drone guys. Sometimes as drone guys, we're not even filming with the second camera. We don't want video. All we want is audio. So you on that mic, on the one's internal recording, you just hit the button on the one side to record directly to the mic. It never has to be hooked up to anything. You don't always want B-roll because you're showing what the drone's seeing.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a really big feature, because again, I don't always want B-roll on the ground that I got to hook it up to another I got to sync it up to another camera.
That makes perfect sense, Ron. That really does. So, I'm kind of, I understand what they're doing here, but I think you really kind of hit the nail on the head with this, Ron, is that this should have been a Mic Mini 3S.
Well, Bill, you hit. I think you hit the head more than I did. Okay, the Mic Mini 2 only came out like a few months ago, whatever. Could you imagine how upset you would be now if you bought the Mic Mini 2 and now in less than 3, 4, whatever? Well, this isn't out yet. I don't think this will be out anytime soon. It's not ever going to be out in the U.S., but I don't think you'll be able to even buy it from eBay for a while. But can you imagine 3 or 4 months later? Here's the Mini 2S, and with the features you really wanted, but you've already spent your money for the Mini 2. I mean, that's not good for customer relations or whatever at all, Bill.
No, it's not. And
they should at least the Mic Mini 2 and the Mic Mini S2 beside each other, and given the people the choice at the time to pay. If they wanted to pay more money for the Air 2S, they could have made an informed decision then, or save money and got the Mic Mini 2. But now you're gonna have a lot of people trying to sell their Mic Mini 2s off to get the Mic Mini 2S or whatever. To me, this creates a bad taste in the customer's mouth.
It really does, Ron. It really does. And I'm going to kind of switch gears here just a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Hubsan Ace 3. Now, I was able. There are a couple of videos out there. Of course, I don't want to show those videos because I'll get my hand slapped with YouTube. But I want to go ahead and share this article that I have here that I kind of put together.
You mean not a promo video from Hudson as somebody's
Right,
own
the
person?
promo videos from Hubson here. Okay, the
Oh, the
H3
promo
is
video.
designed.
All you gotta do is turn the sound down in the promo videos, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The H3 is designed as a premium folding GPS camera drone, competitor to the DJI Air series, long range aerial photography, professional content creation, surveying and inspection work, and recreational flying here. Okay. As of today, it has not yet appeared on Hubson's North America website. There is no confirmed U.S. release date. No FCC announcement has been made. Okay. Standard controller version, US about 610. Smart screen controller version about US $750. Okay, and it lists 3-axis gimbal, 4K recording, GPS, follow me, orbit mode. A standard controller uses a smartphone, lower price, gives the advantages here. Larger image sensor than previous ACE models, mechanical stabilization via 3-axis gimbal, higher bitrate recording, improved low light performance, raw photo support, approximately 35 to 45 minutes depending upon conditions. Intelligent battery system, quick swap batteries. It's just listing what some of the features are as far as this is concerned. Registration required for the over 250 grams. Less expensive than many comparable DJI models. Folding design, premium appearance, smart controller option, long advertised flight time, modern digital transmission, GPS safety features. Possible drawbacks: smaller dealer network, fewer firmware updates in DJI, limited accessories, a smaller repair network, less mature flight software, and smaller user community. Okay. Well, Ron, and here we go again. And I know we talked about this last week when we were talking about this. Okay. You know, every Hubson drone on paper looked like the best thing that's ever come to the drone world. Okay. Their specs, everything, camera, range, battery life, controller, you name it. It's all the best, world in class, end of discussion. And then real world happens. Okay.
it's all good. It's all good until you fly it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
It's all,
but,
it's
but
all,
the strange thing here is, remember we went over the specs for the Hubson Mini 7 last week. It's like they copy and pasted the specs we read for the Mini 7 for the Ace 3. I realize the big difference is the Mini 3 is under 250 grams. This is over 250 grams. But should this have better specs than the
yeah,
Mini? What?
yeah.
It's almost the same. Almost all the major specs are exactly the same, including battery life. Shouldn't this have a bigger drone, bigger battery? Shouldn't this fly longer?
Yeah, yeah. Eye in the sky. We're going to be talking about some stuff coming up here, so hang on a moment here. But yeah, the whole thing with this is all right. They're trying to make some noise again. They're trying to kind of get back in the market, Ron. But there's no.
And their little promo videos, they have great AI. But you can tell it's all AI. They're flying over the waterfall.
Yeah,
It's a neat little promo video, but it's not real.
but and that begs the question, and I'm going to ask it: is have these ever really flown yet? Okay, have they, or are these still? Are they prototypes? What's the deal here? I don't know. I absolutely don't know. Okay,
Well,
just
you want to give Brad's comment first? That drone doesn't interest me at this time. If DJI ends up not being available ever again, I may think about another manufactured drones. Now, yeah, but even this won't get in the U.S. either, Brad. So you'd have to eBay this one, and you might as well eBay a DJI if you're going to eBay this. But Bill, do you think these drones are more designed for the rest of the world? But that doesn't make sense because the rest of the world can still buy DJI drones, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this
Just
them stepping up their game here. If they can't sell in America, they're still competing with DJI every place, everywhere, but here, and they can't be here.
yeah. So I just
It's a little bit of a head scratcher. And
it
Hudson's
really
been
is, Ron.
ever since they had that deal with that young guy Charlie, and they sold the drones over here in different names. Hudson kind of went real quiet for a couple of years. Bill Hudson's been laying low for years, and now they come
Hmm.
back with these two new drones. You think it's anything in that timing? They didn't put it.
I
I bet you they haven't released a drone in 3 or 4 years.
yeah, Yeah, they haven't, and all of a sudden, it's coming up at the time when they're timing it. I don't want to use the word suspect, but it's very interesting. All right, because of everything that's transpired, and I think what they were thinking was, DJI is not going to be around. Maybe we can make an entrance back into the U.S. market. And I'm just like, okay, well, you got a lot of road, you got a lot of ground to cover, okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, and this is something coming from me, Ron, I would rather have a Femi than a Hubsan, all right? Seriously.
I mean, Bill, do you think Hubsan somehow plans on manufacturing these in the U.S.? I mean, if they build a factory in the U.S., they'd be okay then?
It could be. It could be. I don't know, Ron. I really don't know. I mean, the door's open, of course, but I don't know. I just don't know.
As far as I knew, Bill, that Hubsan made their drones in Shenzhen, just like DJI in the same city.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. They're and there really haven't been, as far as it being banned in the United States, the word Hubsan has not even come up. Okay, and now I know
it's been so long, Bill. What's his name of the SEC? He probably not even aware of Hubsan.
Yeah, Brendan Carr. He probably completely forgot about them.
He said, "What's a Hubsan? Is that an old car from the '50s or?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So, one of the things. Remember last week we talked about a new drone has hit the Chinese version of
a whole new model. We were thinking, yeah,
a whole new model has hit that. Well, then we're getting the news now that there is going to be a DJI Air 4.
And Lauren hinted that new model was the new model that it was maybe the Air 4.
And this is what we have here. I gotta reshare because StreamYard's kind of funky with. Let me get this back here.
And folks, I mean, Air 4 it'll be 2 years this fall since the Air 3S, so they are due for a new Air. So the timetable's right, Bill.
Exactly here now. DJI Air 4 has hit a Chinese certification database signaling an imminent launch. The rumored low light camera upgrade could finally make night flying worth the battery. Okay, and then this is on DJI Rumors out on X, and there is an article on there, and let me see if I can.
And that's a little clickbaity there, Bill, because the Air 3S is good in low light.
Yeah,
they make it sound like the Air 3S isn't a low light drone. The Air 3S, when it came out, it was one of the best low light drones.
I'm going to see if I can get this up here. Sharing the screen. Let's see, we got that. Okay. All right. DJI Air 4 leads 2026 lineup with upgraded low-light camera, geeky gadgets. DJI Air 4 is a Chinese certification database signaling an imminent launch. The rumored low-light camera upgrade could finally make night flying worth the battery. And this is really, I mean, it's more or less just kind of an advertisement. Here's to read the full article kind of thing right here. All right, let me go ahead and bring this up here. I didn't think I was going to have to go through the gauntlet of all these ads and stuff here. All right, there we go. All right.
Got it.
DJI Air 4 leads 2026 lineup with upgraded low-light camera. DJI is poised for an exciting 2026 with the Air 4 leading. Its anticipated product lineup is highlighted by Tech Avid. The next generation drone has already appeared in a Chinese certification database, signaling advanced stages of development. Among its rumored features are a redesigned airframe for improved aerodynamics, upgraded obstacle avoidance technology, and a camera system optimized by low light performance. These enhancements suggest the Air 4 could lead or could cater to both casual users and professionals seeking reliable imaging solutions. Key takeaways: the Air 4 is the most anticipated release of 2026, featuring improved aerodynamics, advanced obstacle avoidance, enhanced low light camera performance, extended battery life, and storage connectivity. The Avata 3 is expected to redefine FPV drone experiences with larger image sensor, better dynamic range, superior low light capabilities, longer flight times, and advanced stabilization. The DJI N610BS, identified through certification, is speculated to be a semi-professional drone series bridging the gap between consumer and enterprise-grade drones. The DJI Osmo Action 7 is rumored to include a larger sensor, improved HDR, extended battery life, and AI-powered shooting modes targeting adventures and content creators. The Mic Mini 2S, officially confirmed, is a compact wireless audio supporting up to 4 transmitters designed for content creators and filmmakers seeking high quality audio solutions. Okay, and then gets into and it talks about each one of them down here in a little bit. So, and I'll go ahead and this is from Geekly Gadgets, and yeah, say that fast, 10 times real fast. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat here for you guys, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But you know,
hey Bill, before you get into the Air 4 here, can I just talk about the Mic Mini 2S? When we were talking about that before, we weren't talking about just some stuff that's vaporware. That one guy, that one Chinese guy, he had made a ton of videos. He's got it already. I've already seen it. Somehow this guy gets everything in China before. And it wasn't AI. I mean, he really has a thing.
I did see those videos.
They are, unlike the Hubsons, they have it's a working model of the mic 2 or the Mic Mini, whatever, the 2S. It actually is a working model out there.
It is working. I did watch that video, Ron. You're right. That's a real legit video.
Back to the Air 4. I mean, of course, we're looking forward to it. And I don't know where to start on this, but all those specs you read off mostly about being semi-professional, all you can say all about the Air 3S. I mean, it is copy and pasted, the Air 3S, and they talk about the low light. Well, what are they going to do for low light? The Air 3S already has a 1 sensor. What are they going to do? Put a 4/3 sensor in the Air 4? It already has a 1.8 aperture, wide aperture opening. What are they going to do? Put a 1.2 in or something like that? I mean, they may have some super low light mode where AI makes it brighter, but I mean, what are they really going to do as far as hardware specs?
Yeah, what it kind of sounds like, Ron, and you really kind of hit the nail on the head on this one is, they just kind of maybe copied and paste from the Air 3S and kind of just, put this in here and probably ran it through AI and refined it a little bit to make it sound real good. But, these were the things that we were expecting with the Air 3S, okay? The low light, the bigger sensor.
We got it. Yeah,
we got everything, okay? And here they're telling us the same thing over again, all right?
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're hearing here. And this whole thing about an imminent launch was just kind of clickbait, okay? Because
that's because it appeared in the FCC or whatever. I'm not FCC, the Chinese version of FCC.
The Chinese version, yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't always mean it's coming out like the next week or something like that. Sometimes things hit those databases sitting there for months.
Yeah, it could be 2-3 months before it comes out. So I mean, this thing about an imminent release.
Without any knowledge of anything, Bill, I'm saying you won't see the Air 4 until the fall.
I agree. And you would have known that Igor or Jasper Ellens or Sidalev would have had a picture of a crash prototype or a prototype with tape all over it or, a shot in the dark of it and, or a quick clip of it out there if this was a lot closer. So I don't think it's as close as DJI Rumors makes it out to be. I think, like you said, I think it's probably about at least 2 or 3 months down the road before this will actually hit the market. Okay. Now, when I say hit the market, of course, everywhere but the United States. It'll probably hit in China first, and then it'll probably be distributed internationally, except for us here in the United States.
Yeah. And we talked about this a little bit last night, Bill. We haven't, of course, we didn't get the Lito drones. We got the Avata 360. We didn't get the Lito drones. They weren't FCC approved. The Atom 3 so far not FCC approved. Yeah, people had interest in those drones. Some people really wanted those drones, but for most of us, it wasn't hard to resist those drones. They were, the Litos were just using older DJI technology at a lower price,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Atom 3 was a step up from the Atom 2, but it still was at the level that say the I don't know, 5 was or something like that. So it wasn't really hard to resist those. But when this Air 4 comes out, that'll be the one that's going to gnaw
You're
away
right.
at us. That we're, we're probably not going to be, it's not going to get FCC approved. And we would have to be brought in here. We'd have to get on eBay and kind of fly illegally or whatever. I'm no lawyer, so don't you know. I don't know anything about legality, but this one's going to hurt, Bill. Is the bottom line.
You really, again, you really kind of hit the nail on the head with that. Up until now, up until this point, it was easy to pass on the Lito, and it was easy to pass on some of the other things. All right, but with the Air 4 coming up, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow, because we're gonna, we got spoiled, and rightly so, with the Air 3S, because the Air 3S, it did everything, it did it well. And if you would pick a drone to use for a project time and time again, 99% of the time you're picking the Air 3S, because it does everything and it does it well, and it's
And
never
still,
failed me.
it's a drone I use for almost all my real estate shoots.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I love my Mavic 4 Pro. Don't get me wrong. I love my Mini 5 Pro. I love my Neo 2 and Avata 360. But if I'm going out there to shoot some serious stuff, it's the Air 3S. Okay, it's what's going out there. It's agile. It's reliable. The video off of it is stellar every single time. There's no questions asked about it. That's a drone of choice. And when it comes time
it's my workhorse.
Exactly. And when it comes time for the Air 4S or Air 4, I already said Air 4S. And when comes time for the Air 4 to come out, say around September or October, kind of a time frame, we're all going to be like, kind of a thing, because we're gonna look at the specs and say, wow, this is going to be crazy incredible. And then, of course, and I'm going to say this, I'm not going to mention any names, but someone will come out there with a YouTube video and say something to the effect, well, if you're not using it for your workflow, you can go ahead and get one here in the United States. It's okay. No, okay. I went down that rabbit hole before, especially with my Avata 360 that I had, and it didn't have FCC ID in the battery compartment. If it doesn't have that, you cannot fly it here in the United States, no matter what any other YouTuber may tell you. Okay, period. It's the law. You can't do it. All right, and it's probably going to be the same thing here. You're going to find people come out and they're going to put a YouTube video out and say, you can go ahead and get the Air 4. It's no problem, as long as you're not doing it, using it commercially. There won't be any consequences. Okay, and you'll be fine. No, that's not the case. Okay,
Bill, let's send a letter in to our friend Brendan Carr at the FCC and ask him that question.
Yeah.
Can these non-approved FCC drones from DJI, if you're just using them for non-commercial things, can you go ahead and fly them? And tell Brendan that's a yes or no question. You don't have to dance around it. Just say yes or no.
Well, and I think
and anybody that doubts what we're saying, tell them to email Brendan Carr. He'll give them the answer.
He'll give them the 411 exactly. They need to pony up and answer us, some of these hard questions like that. All right, because that's a legitimate question, Ron. All right, and I can see how some content creators have come up with this and have posted that and don't see a problem with that. And while the spirit is there, and I kind of agree with the spirit, but the law says no. All right, so you would need to have him tell us, can I use a Lito in non-commercial operations? Yes or no. Can I use a Air 4 in non-commercial operations? Yes or no. All right. Just bottom line. Just hit us back with that.
Pocket 4 Pro, or
and the Pocket 4 Pro. Can I use that in a non-commercial type of environment for personal use? Okay. I personally, if it was up to me, I would say sure, why not? Because you're not making any money off of this. It's not, you're not causing any, you're not engaging in commerce, and you're not possible sharing of data and things like that. It's for your own personal use, and that's fine. That's my opinion.
if Brendan said, "Oh, you're good to go for personal, just go ahead and get those things." Then just say that email, and then if anybody questions, say, "Here, I have Brandon Carr said I'm good."
Yep, this is what Brandon Carr from the FCC says. So I mean, and they need to do that, Ron. Okay, they haven't been able to tell us about the national security garbage. Okay, which is a whole nother topic and a whole nother show, but they can easily answer us the question. Okay, are these drones okay to use for not for personal use? Yes or no? Okay, yes
I
or
mean,
no?
they make us hunt around this FC database. They should put two lists out, Bill. Every month, the FCC should put two lists out. One list is drones that are approved, and the other list is drones that are not approved.
I agree. I agree,
And
Ron. I mean,
every month they have to refresh that list again. So if you're trying to get the Atom 2 or the Litos, and you could, if it's got to be on one list or the other. It's either got to be on the approved list or the not approved list. If you don't see it on any list at all, then something's going on or whatever. It should be on one
yeah.
list.
Let us know. I mean, it's like either yes or no. I mean, it's real simple. There's no in between on that. Yes, we can use them for our own personal use, or no, we can't. All right, which is it? All right, because
Yeah.
that question is
If we got going up to your father when you were young and saying, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow the keys to the car to go out and run around this weekend?" He just says, "Well, maybe."
yeah, yeah. Well, it's the old do as I say, not as I do kind of a thing. And you see, what was it? The Homeland Secretary, he had a DJI mic on his lapel. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, what's the deal here? Okay, we can't
Yeah.
use them, but
Yeah.
here you are. You have it front and center, and everybody photographed you with it. I mean,
Send that to Mr. Carr. Hey, I want to write Dronoki. There is no list. He says, "Right, yeah, I'm saying there should be Dronoki. You're absolutely right. There is no list, and that's the problem. There is no list. There should be a list."
there should be a list exactly, and that would make life Ron. That would make life so much easier for all of us because we could all use that, even though we're using it for our channels. It's still our personal use, okay, as far as that's concerned. So we can still do that. That's not an issue. All right, it's for when we're going on, for when you're doing roofing inspections, or when you're doing building inspections, or when you're doing photographs for real estate or a wedding or things like that. That's the commercial nature of drone photography and videography, or things like that. Okay, personal use, no, you're using it for yourself. All right, and I don't know. I'm just kind of
Well, I mean, the thing
spitballing
is,
here.
what we don't know is, are they going to give us an inch, or we got no inch on this at all? I mean, is it a
Yeah,
hard line, a hard edge, where no foreign drone without FCC approval can be sold or flown in the U.S., or is it that's the hard edge, or do we have a little wiggle room in that? They don't tell us.
yeah. I'm sure the answer will be, well, it depends.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. It all depends, and the thing is, you don't know which way it depends.
Exactly. And they need to be more forthcoming with us. All right, because we've been pretty good about this as far as the drone community is concerned. We've responded in kind to them. We've asked them ad nauseum about the security concerns, and they haven't gotten back to us. But I mean, with this is something they can get back to us and say yes or no. This is really a very simple kind of a process, and give us a list. Here are the drones that you can use for your personal use. Boom, here's the list. Done deal. You
Yeah,
know.
cut,
So
cut, cut and dry, as they used to say, right, Bill?
yeah, exactly. Cut and dry as far as that's concerned. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, the Air 4 is coming. I mean, it's just like, be prepared for the shockwave when it hits, guys. Okay, so I'm telling you, because I know Ron, myself, I know Marcus, Johnny, Ray, everybody is going to want to get one. All right, but the best we'll be able to do is to watch from YouTube and see it, or maybe go up and visit our friend Lauren up in Canada and watch him fly his. I mean,
And of course, in some of the recent drone lists, we even kind of get more confused because we see American drone reviewers reviewing these drones.
hmm
So some people think, oh, well, I'm not going to say names. If this American drone reviewer has it, he's showing the channel, it must be legal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's not reviewing in a foreign country. This American drone review is reviewing in his backyard or whatever in America. So that confuses people too.
Yeah. And
Now I'm
one
not
thing.
just saying blame the drone reviewer, but I'm just saying it's just a confusing mess or whatever. Like, you know.
Yeah, and I know you, and I know Marcus, and I know Johnny and Ray, and the ones that I do know, and myself. We're not going to confuse you. Okay, we're telling you straight up. Okay, right now, if it does not have an FCC ID on it, this is what has come back to me legitimately from DJI. If it does not have FCC ID on the battery compartment, you cannot fly it in the United States. Period. Bottom line. Don't listen to what anyone else tells you. All right. Unless Brendan Carr comes out and tells us, well, there's a list that you can fly for non-commercial purposes, and here it is, and give us a list, okay? Other than that, that's the message we're giving you, all right? We want to make sure that we uphold the law, which we're doing here, and we want to make sure that you do as well, and not send a confusing message to you at all. Not, never.
Yeah, I agree with Dronoki. All this drone band crap is giving me heartburn past the tums or whatever. But you know what, Dronoki and Bill? I totally agree with what Dronoki's saying and whatever here. But you know what? I'm flying more drones now than I ever did in my life. When I go out to fly my Air 3S or whatever I'm flying, Neo 2, whatever. When I'm flying around and having a good time or actually flying and making money, I don't think about the drone man at all, whatever. The drone man
Yeah.
is not my mind. I'm still out flying drones. Every day it's not raining or every day it's not 105 degrees out there, whatever. I'm still getting out flying drones. So this drone ban, it upsets me, in one thing, but actually enjoying the hobby, it's not stopping me at all. I mean,
I,
I may be singing a different tune 2, 3, 5 years down the road over, but right now, on July 7th, 2026, this drone ban is not affecting the way I fly at all.
Ron, I could not agree more. The only time I get really fired up about it is on Tuesday nights or a Monday night when I'm watching Drone Nation, okay? Because, that's the only time I really think about the band. Like Ron, when I go out and I'm flying, I'm enjoying the. It's like Bill Thomas drone therapy. It really is. You go out there and fly. I'll tell you what. It's like it's like that. When they say when you go out and walk or exercise, it pumps endorphins through your bodies. It's the same way with drones for me. Okay, when I go out there, when I flew the Neo 2 a couple of weeks ago, and I did that real low level flight on my grass. Okay, I love that. I enjoy that. And I told Valerie, come here, take a look at the footage from this. Okay, this is crazy. This is awesome. All right. And then the Avata 360, just what an amazing drone that is, and being able to shoot a 360 video of my own house. I mean, how much more good can that be?
Yeah.
All right, and have that much
Yeah,
fun.
instead of worrying about what drones I can't fly, I need to be out there flying the Avata 360 more. I have a great drone. Just get out there and fly that, not worry about what I can't get.
Yeah, and Johnny Oki, absolutely. Fly every day, and I don't look over my shoulder.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you. Well,
100%, my friend.
We had a crappy day here today. Kind of like it was very overcast, kind of sprinkling on off. I still flew a drone today. Marcus sent me that little hover drone to review. I was messing around with it in the backyard for a few minutes back there. So even on a crappy day like today, I still had a drone up in the air for up.
Yeah.
I didn't have a controller. I was just, it was just flying on my hand, but I still had a drone going for a few minutes today, even on a crappy day like today.
Exactly. And that's why we tell you, and that's why we have closed almost all our shows with enjoy what you have right now. And we cannot mean that anymore, okay? Because I'll tell you what, and those of you that have flown drones for any kind of length or period of time, like Ron and myself, and a lot of you out there know that when you go out there and you fly, it's like one of those things. And I have a bad work day or whatever? Yeah, but you know what? I got out and I flew a drone, and things are a whole lot better now. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference in your day and your attitude, and it's a nice way to just relax. For me, I really find it very relaxing. Other people like to do certain things. That's my thing, and I really enjoy it a lot. I mean, it's like ham radio. Ham radio is the same way to me. When I get out there and I key up and I'm making contacts with somebody that's maybe 1,000 or 2,000 miles away, it's pretty cool, and that's nope, you can't stop me from doing that, and it's the same thing here.
Look, Sergeant Rocky enjoyed flying his Neo 2 today.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
yeah.
mean, just yeah,
But
that's
yeah. Yeah.
any closing thoughts here, Ron, as we wrap things up.
Now just that I got the 4th of July over with now. Now we kind of get into the long part of the summer, Bill. I know you got some hot days ahead of you. It's going to be harder to fly unless you get up early. But again, this to me this is my non-windy time of year, so I'm going to be doing a lot of flying because in the winter and stuff, even on nice days, it's too windy. So I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to fly all the legal drones I have. Not worried about the Litos, not worried about the Atom 3. I'm not worried about the Air 4 yet because right now it's vaporware or whatever until somebody's flying the thing. So I'm not worried about any of that stuff. Just worried about flying what I got now. We got some updates to some of our drones recently. Neo 2 got some new features. Avata 360 got some new features. The app got updated. So I mean, things are still moving along, Bill. That's what
Exactly.
I.
It's and my message for everyone right there, it's business as normal right now. Okay. Ron just covered the great firmware updates for the Neo 2 and the Avata 360 that just transpired. Getting out there every day if you can and fly. I mean, there's just something so peaceful and so relaxing in being able to do that. And think of this, guys. Think of us. For those of you that are Part 107 pilots, okay? You went out there, you passed a test from the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, okay? You are a licensed pilot in the United States, okay? You can say that, and you have that physical license. You're a licensed pilot here in the United States. You have privileges and rights as a licensed pilot. And I don't want to preach to the choir here, but you know that. And get out there and enjoy this privilege and enjoy this wonderful opportunity of enjoying your drones, okay? And like Ron said, the Air Force vaporware right now, we don't know when it's coming out, when it'll come out. All right, and you know what? When it does come out, great. If we really get the urge, we can all get in a car, hop up, and visit Lauren. Okay, we'll take you out to dinner, Lauren. But no, let's just enjoy what you have and have fun. That's the bottom line. Okay, that's the bottom line. So, guys, again, if you have a chance, make sure tomorrow you get out on my timeline and wish my better half, Valerie, a very happy birthday tomorrow, okay? Make sure that you do that, okay? Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. As always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.
Good night.